Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another video regarding the insane crash outs from the Hoyoverse community, of course, following the release of some very exciting gameplay from Wuthering Waves. We all know that Hyuki and Dena are some of the most wild kids we've ever seen in the history of the game. And of course, there are always going to be the Hoyoshills out there that see something very good and of course want to take a on it, right? There are people over here implying that like Hyuki is AI or something like that, and it really just follows this simple cycle. Hoyo Twitter, in a nutshell, whenever WuWa gets a new character, she's so chopped. They copied X. Another bland one-patch wonder. And then, of course, Wuthering Waves starts coming out with some comparison videos. This is where we are in the cycle right now, because there is another point of critique that has come out of Sane's the Hoyoverse community, and it's this one over here. Breaking news! After Hyuki and Dena's reveal, Hoyo fans are now attacking VAs, saying every WuWa character has bad voice acting, and also saying WuWa should fire the voice director. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that has gotten a lot of traction. You can see this post over here, 2.6k likes. When you have an entire community, right? You got Genshin Impact, you've got HSR, and you've got Zenless Zone Zero, and they're all chained down, tied together, right? In a chair, looking at these animations. It's like just straight up, Hoyo-kun, are you watching? It's all of this. And of course, when you see that Hyuki over here literally has cherry blossoms appearing in all of her attacks, while HSR 4.0 had to get fucking reworked and turned into the biggest piece of shit anyone's ever seen, of course they're gonna be mad. When you have dog shit animations like this garbage appearing in Genshin Impact, and of course, whatever the fuck Ayaka is supposed to be, and then you proceed to see this character over here just pop the fuck off and make Ayaka look like a 2-star, I don't even know, bro. She looks like she's from a fucking PS2 game at this point. She makes her look like a piece of dog shit. Of course they're gonna get mad. And then Zenless Zone Zero, right? The game that was known for its flashy animations. Bro, Miyabi's just over here looking jealous. They're all in the cuck chair together. They're all upset. They're all angry. And so, of course, they're all gonna unite to say a bunch of bullshit. They genuinely need to fire their voice director. How does every character in that game sound this bad? And this is a post over here that's saying, I'm gagging, but the voice acting is horrific. And they're talking about Dena. So why don't we go ahead? Why don't we give that voice acting a bit of a listen ourselves and see what's going on here?
Please don't. Forgive me.
Sounds fine to me. She has like the softer please don't into the forgive me, and then she starts popping off. Yeah, I don't really see much of an issue with that one.
Bit by bit.
Then we get the bit by bit over there on the big slam attack. Looks solid. I think this is the voice line that people might be getting a little bit upset about. Let's listen to it over here.
Bit by bit. Ashes to ashes.
That one. Where she just says, ashes to ashes. And this is the intonation over here, right? That I feel like people are getting a little bit upset about. Let me play an example from Wuthering Waves that really encapsulates what I think people think it should have sounded like.
Burn to ashes!
There's a different enunciation on the ashes piece, right? They probably wanted her to sound something like ashes to ashes or something like that, right? However, what's one thing about Dena that you see over here? Yeah, she's the Thermodian resonator, bro. Yeah, no, that's like Aleph 1, whatever the fuck it is.
Ashes to ashes.
And I think she's meant to sound crazy. I think she's meant to sound a little bit unstable. I think she's meant to sound like a bit of a freak, right? Why do you think the Dena over here is saying,
Please don't.
why do you think she's saying, please don't? Probably because whatever alternative form over here is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And so does that voice line sound unhinged? Yes. But I think it's spot on for the character. Because you want to know somebody else who you know, if you didn't know too much about their characterization, you might be a little bit confused about their voices, right?
Kayla and twice. Sprout.
Yeah, you guys remember her? She's also cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as well. She's also a little bit fucking crazy.
Feed my blossoms, self-deceivers.
Yeah, she also sounds a little bit crazy. And what's another thing you notice about these characters? Huh, they got multiple voice lines for every skill. And what's one thing that newer characters in this game obviously have, ladies and gentlemen? And I'll increase my volume a little bit so you guys can hear this.
There you are.
They got a shit ton of voice lines on a bunch of different abilities. And certain units, right? I think Sigrika's one where I guess they saved the budget a little bit. Wait, does Linnea have them? Is that something they only did for Augusta and Yuno? Well, these were obviously high-budget units that they released as well. Augusta and Yuno. And I'm pretty sure that Dena and Hiyuki are also going to have something similar to this. This bitch has 6 different lines for her outro skill. She has 3 lines for her liberation, like 6 for her. She has like 17. Resident skill 1 to 13? 1 to 12? This was a unit that got teased as well with her gameplay footage. And I'm 99% certain, ladies and gentlemen, that you're going to see a similar level of budget for a character like this who has 2 forms. People are out here, Hoyoverse players, they're schizoing out over hearing one ultimate voice line for a unit with 2 personalities. But let me show you something, all right? This is clearly a critique from the Genshin Impact community, or just the Hoyoverse community as a whole, right? They're very, very, very mad at what's going on. Why don't we listen to and hear a little bit about what Hoyo has been cooking up recently? And I'll play this alongside you guys, right? We'll make this a collaborative activity because it's just such an amazing ride.
Burn!
Burn!
Freeze!
Freeze!
Fry!
Fry!
Stormwind!
Stormwind!
Thunder!
Sunder!
Up the ante!
Up the ante!
Charge!
Charge!
Maria sweeping!
That's the unit that was released this patch in Genshin. And this community of dipshit Hoyoverse players are out here trying to critique any voice direction. Do you want to know who the voice actor of Varka is? It's the same voice actor for this guy. Let me play you a couple of Mortefi's voice lines, and you let me know which ones sound better.
What a clinger. You're no match. Leave me alone. Inferno! Burn!
This is the big one, right?
Burn!
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 How does a 1.0 unit in Wuthering Waves have better voice direction from the same VA, right? When Genshin Impact has had 5+ years of like practice when it comes to voice direction and kit design and all of that. And Wuthering Waves, that was the 1.0 version. It's clearly not a VA problem. It's clearly a voice director problem. And Mortefi's VA in this circumstance was, I guess, just told to yell random shit into his fucking microphone.
Burn! Freeze! Fry! Stormwind! Thunder!
He was just told to yell a bunch of random fucking words.
Up the ante!
This is my favorite one. They just told him to yell. They just told this motherfucker to yell. Bro, did they run out of budget for Varka, the unit they've been teasing since 1.0 of the game? Did they run out of budget and they were like, brother, I'm sorry. We can only pay you for the first take. Because how does
As you wish. Silence!
this guy...
Burn to ashes! Burn to ashes!
This Burn to Ashes sounds better than Varka's entire kit.
Burn!
Feel my wrath.
What a joke. What a clown show. What an absolute disaster of a release. And isn't it just the most hypocritical thing ever that this dipshit community, knowing that this got released in this active Genshin patch, right? This absolute clown show of voice direction. Isn't it just ironic that these guys are out here saying that WuWa needs to fire its voice director? When, literally, you can see over here that Jennifer English, Carlotta's VA, won awards at the TGAs. Literally. This is Carlotta's VA, and guess who is widely considered to be one of the best voice characters in the game? Why do you think Carlotta gets a skin? Why do you think she's so popular? Probably because she has one of the best voice line performances we've ever seen.
The world is mine. Glory demands more. Victory favors me. Masterpiece complete. In the name of the Montellis, a new era awaits.
This is what they're saying is bad voice direction? This is what they're saying is not good? Oh, okay, you know what? What if we just think about some of the other characters, right? Because this was also released in Rinasida. Oh, she got 10 liberation voice lines.
Oceans, bow before me. True form, revealed at last. Repent, for silence beckons. Windstorm, sweep all away.
Wait, they put big big Cardathea here too.
My blade, purge all evil.
Just so you know, it's the same VA doing both of these, doing the big form and the small form.
Furious tides, split the heavens. The fallen, embrace your end. Heretic, face your reckoning. Heretic, transgressor, laud your demise.
I don't think I've ever heard the last three now that I think about it.
My blade,
But this one,
purge all evil.
nah, this one definitely goes off. They're saying that these characters, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying these ones have bad voice direction. How? Especially knowing that this unit also has one of the best voices ever. We all know what Amith is all about. We all know that Amith has some insane fucking lines too. Bro, does she have 17 different heavy attacks? Aerial attack? Resident skill? Holy moly.
Mech mode.
Imeth, transform. Fly high.
Truth. Reach the cosmos.
Smile.
Sparks. Ignite the world.
Come on.
Stars. Light up tomorrow.
The world is mine to guard.
Objective. Logged.
And of course, I guess her 17 different liberation lines
Blade
too.
cleaves the night.
Perils purged in light. Cluster cannon ready.
The savior rises.
We all know that Wuthering Waves is on top when it comes to voice acting. It literally has possibly
Look,
the best.
A laser sword. Pretty cool, right?
We all know that it has the best voice acting in the space currently. You all know that ZZZ is actually horrifying in comparison. You know that HSR doesn't put in nearly enough effort. Though I'm not going to say HSR voices are complete garbage. They're probably the best out of the Hoyoverse universe. And then, with Genshin having so many actual duds on the roster, and then putting this little effort into the voice direction, right? For Varka, of all units. How are these bums even saying such retarded shit like this?
Burn! Freeze! Fry!
One of the most anticipated characters in the history of the game gets this. And you wanna know what the funniest part is? It's also fair to say that this level of dog shit also extends to, well, of course, right? The main character. Bro, Zach Aguilar is just scamming Hoyoverse at this point, right? Does bro record one voice line a fucking year for the Traveler? Bro spends like 2 seconds in the studio, right? You want to know what we get from the Wuthering Waves MC, bro? This is what we get from the Wuthering Waves MC, man. We get voice performances like this from the WuWa MC. That's what we get from the WuWa MC. Oh, and don't worry, I've got another one. Here's my follow-up attack, HSR players. Why do you think that these segments are clearly the most played?
My only wish for you is that you live a happy life.
You even got emotional depth as well in the story. Bro, come on, man. What are we even doing here? And I think the best part about all this, guys, is that this individual, they deleted their account. All of these, I think everybody involved deleted their account. I think both these people did. Because they probably got sent Cardathea clips. They probably got sent Carlotta clips. And then they just got called a stupid retard on repeat. And they're like, damn, I guess I'll just go again and make a new Twitter account. Because their ass was just getting cooked in the quote retweets, bro. In the quote retweets. Into infinity and beyond. As they rightfully should have. Because you have to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers in existence to even try to say something like this off of one voice line. But that's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth. And of course, like I said before, all 3 fan bases, Hoyu, Genshin, HSR, ZZZ, they're all in the cuck chair together. And this is what they have to see Wuthering Waves doing on their anniversary, while their patches look like...
Freeze! Fry!
That's what they hear in their internal monologue. That's what they're hearing in their head. Of course they're gonna be mad. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.